Greetings all, Matt from the future here. So I have gone back to using the two original antennas that are inside and two that are on the outside, and I stuck with two on the outside because I broke the two factory antennas. Um, I'm gonna say like there is a time frame for this to happen, and maybe it's something to think about, and we'll come back to that afterwards. But I'll take it apart and I'll show you what happened with mine, and where to be careful. So enjoy the video. I still am going to show you how to install all four, and we can go from there. Greetings, everyone. I wanted to do a follow-up video from my Voxel firmware installation because that seemed to be kind of popular, and it seemed to help a lot of people out because it seems these Orbies have started to become kind of popular. They are fixing a problem that I have had for quite a while, and that's basically really bad regular internet, but a great cell service out here. I kind of live out in the country, so I wouldn't really call it the country, but it's far enough out that DSL is basically our only option. So if you're going to do this, it's not for the faint of heart, I guess, because you have to fully understand that you are completely voiding whatever warranty that you have left. So if you get into this and you screw it up, there is no going back. So you are going to need a few things. So I just have these four little patch panels that I got off Amazon. They kind of work. I used them in another router. You're going to need an 8mm socket. You are going to need a Torx bit, a T10. Orbi decided to go with Torx bits versus regular Phillips screws. So you will need that. I've got a little X-Acto knife to kind of help things on a 8mm wrench. I think these are called spudgers. I don't know, plastic things. And then you are going to need four, what are they called? The U.F.L, the SMA plugs. I literally just got these off Amazon. They come in like a 5-pack. I want to say they're like $6. So you're probably asking yourself, hey, Mr. Internet guy, why do you need four when there's already two on the bottom? That was a very good question, and it took me a while to kind of figure out why that is the case. Apparently, these two antennas replace the two antennas that are mounted in the front of this. So if you don't have anything plugged in here, there's two little panel antennas that are sitting in front of the Orbi, and these work. And then if you plug something in here, then only these. So theoretically, you only have two antennas at a time, where I want four antennas at a time for all of those upload and download speeds. So, so we're not going to be able to reuse these, and fortunately, these come in 5-pack, so you'll have a spare in case you mess something up. So, first thing we're going to do, we are going to, you guys are going to completely be nice to me because I have never done like an overhead camera mabob thing. You should, God, I wish I could put a picture of this. It really is the most convoluted thing. I've got like a tripod somehow zip tied to my wall. Yeah, it's a hot mess. Anywho, the other thing that I'm going to show you how to do is to properly open this up. There is another video on YouTube, and while his information is awesome and great, the way that he takes it apart will break literally every single tab in there. The way that he does it is not the right way. So we've took the little nuts off with the 8mm. We're going to pull up the corner of the little tab here, and underneath here is the first Torx bit. And we're just going to set that aside. And then you've got another one on the other side. This is the weirdest way of recording things. I am not gonna lie. I'm trying to almost do what I'm doing, all while watching my computer monitor. Okay, so now we've got those two screws out. There's a couple things on the bottom we're going to take off. So there is this the sticker here. You don't have to take it off. I just take it off because it's easier. You could literally just cut it in half. The goal is we're trying to separate the two seams here. The little feet come off. They're just sticky. Just set them aside because we'll be able to put them back on. And then this is where kind of the other guy kind of rips from the top. And when I did that, lots of little pieces of plastic started flying. So what it does is just kind of slides forward, right? So the front slides, and then with that, then it just lifts off. Look at that. Look how easy that is. Okay, cool. So now we're inside the Orbi-rific. Okay, jump cut, because I figured if I was going to actually drill holes, I should probably get a drill bit. Not really sure what size we're going to need. I'll let you know once we get there. Okay, so the Orbi's open. So if the 4 connections that we're really concerned about, these plastic, are these 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one and this one run up to the panels that are mounted on the front, and then this one runs over, does some voodoo through here, and then runs over to each of the plugs that are coming out of the back of the Orbi. So, like I said, we are going to disconnect these. So, disconnecting U.F.L plugs. There's a couple videos on this. I'm sure there's a better way. So I just kind of take a little spudger and then I get really close to it and I kind of pop it up. Just kind of wiggle. And eventually they pop off. Going on is a little more difficult because it can just be a little fiddly. But yeah, so for right now, we're just going to pull the front ones off so we can finish pulling this whole thing apart, because we're going to go this deep. Let's take it all apart. Okay, so there are 4 Torx bit screws in here. The other thing I would love to figure out is how to actually make the LED not completely suck. So I'm sure it is a board-mounted LED, which my soldering skills probably are not to that level, but we will see. We'll see what it is. Okay, so these are off, and then these are disconnected. These here, and then there's 2 up here. Those are your Wi-Fi. We're clearly going to leave all those together. Some people are still using this as a Wi-Fi. I do not. I shut it all off so I can. I've got a Unify system. They'll probably be moving over to like a pfSense or OpenSense here pretty soon. So this back lifts up very slowly. If you push on the plugs, the antenna plugs, it kind of help you go through. And then, so once that's up, it kind of pulls down and up, kind of this away. Here, let's turn it sideways. They go like this and like that kind of thing. And now, so there you go. So those 2 tiny little thingy right there, those are your antennas for your regular when you don't have anything plugged in. Oh, and they're on the back. Why have I always been pointing the front stuff? Huh. Okay. Well, whatever. So we're just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna take like a little piece of electrical tape, probably just tape it in there, keep them out of the way. But before we do that, let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say those LEDs are not anything that I am capable of doing. That's okay. I'll live with what it is. Okay, so this whole thing can come apart too if you wanted. So there's a little clip here, and that kind of pops up. And then that pops up. And then this goes. Oh, it looks like these are actually kind of a press in clip kind of thing. I don't know. So, you know I'm using the correct tool. Clearly, a T10 Torx bit is the correct tool. Anyhow, so then that comes off, and you're kind of left with the bare bones of whatnot. And the other gentleman that tore it apart, he mounted it in like an outdoor housing, and so he stripped it down to this and just left it as that. He did kind of a cool PoE power. So he just sent power over PoE, and he was able to power it from there. So kind of cool. Okay, so we don't need any of that though. We are only concerned with our antennas. So we're going to set this aside, and we're going to look at this for a second. Most everybody that I've seen pictures of, they kind of go across here, which it sure looks like there's a whole lot of room. So I'm not going to be too concerned about space. Oh yeah, there's like gobs of space in there. Okay, so ideally it'd probably be good if we tried to space it out a little bit or something. But we're going to start by losing my tape, and only the best Harbor Freight tapes ever. All right, now we'll kind of tape this up out of the way. And isn't it exciting to watch somebody else do something entirely stupid, like void the warranty of a $300 router? No, it's fine. That's fine. That's fine. No, that's cool. I've been so miserable with internet out here. So we have no. Okay, well, according to Comcast, they will not supply internet here, even though I can look at their cable on the pole. My only other option is DSL, and it's like 6 down and 0.7 up. So it's really awesome. Okay, so let's see. All right, we're gonna pause for a sec while I get a pen, and I'm gonna try to not make this a hot mess. Okay, so I went and grabbed a pen and some painter's tape. Just kind of eyeballed stuff. I don't know. I mean, realistically, our goal is we'll end up having these antennas, mounted to the outside. They might be a little bit close. Yeah, they will be really close. Maybe I'll go higher and wider. Maybe I'll go like up here, or let's see. So I really got a whole ton of room to work with. So I don't need to really worry about locating things. So probably what I will do now is I don't know what I'm going to do. Fitting 4 antennas side by side is difficult and probably not the best. So, although I do need to keep them down low. So, okay. Well, we'll go with this. I mean, my end goal is probably run something like like a external antenna system or something. and realistically, there's other antennas out there. Oh, they rotate. Do they all rotate, or is that the one that I broke? Uh, they they rotate if you break them. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, so we'll just stick with this, and I'm going to throw another piece of blue painter's tape on the other side to not completely blast out the other side. Probably about there. Sure. And yeah, and then we'll swing one of these a little bit farther out. All right. Was that big enough? Yes, it was. What size was that? Well, 1/4 inch. So, 1/4 inch is what you need to do for a hole. So, now we'll drill our other holes. Remember that part about me blowing it out on the other side? Yeah, that didn't really work out. Cool. Let's see, that's about halfway, and we'll call that, sure. This is all very scientific, well measured, and only the finest Corinthian leather. All right. So clean up your mess, because you have officially voided your warranty, ma'am and sirs. And it's not centered. That's okay. I'm okay with that, because it just gave them a little bit extra width. Yes, my OCD will probably flare up with that, but where it's going to live is going to be in like a pump house, so I will never see it. But it'll probably drive me nuts. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to take our plugs, and we're gonna, let's see, what order? Let's do the little the washer with the, I don't even know what the proper order is. It's okay. It doesn't really matter, because we're just going to tighten down the bejeebers out a bit, and we be good to go. And the second one. As many of you will probably notice, my hands are completely thrashed and greasy and cut to crap. So, and I mentioned this in my last video, I am not a network guy, nor, I mean, I kind of pretend to be a computer guy. I find it really fascinating, but I really am a car guy. And I was working on an old BMW today, and German cars are angry. The Germans did a great job of layering things. If you want to get to something, you have to take something else off and continue that process until you get to the thing. Well, sometimes the BMW fights back. Anyways, it is almost back together. But yeah, I do auto racing, stage rally stuff, which is super fun, and an old Mazda RX-7, which I actually did an engine swap out of a Subaru Legacy. If you're not a car person, it's okay. If you're not following along, if you're a car person and you're not following along, that's okay, because nobody really follows along. It was an interesting idea that ironically was not born out of some drunken evening, but it's a cool little car. If you want to go see some of my other videos. Okay, so we've got our 4 pluggers in. as my daughter would say. Also, my daughter was the one that painted my nails, so she was super happy for that. So 8mm on the back, 8mm on the front. Do yourself a favor and give these a good tightening, because if you don't, and you go to tighten this, tighten like an antenna on, what will happen is it will start spinning. And don't ask me how I know that, because I already did it in another antenna thing. So you would have to take it all down apart to retighten it. So just do yourself a solid and tighten it all up. Oh man, sorry. I'm doing my best to keep it on camera. Really am. All right, where are we at? 20 minutes? I will go through and speed all this up so you guys don't have to listen to me ramble. Okay. Okay, so those are all tight. Cool. Great. So now what we're actually going to do is we're going to put the guts back together. So for this thing went back together. Ah, yes, those thingies, the weird little clips. No. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Little clips go in. Great. And then this thingy goes in. See, not only do you get a disassemble, you get a reassemble. Nice. And then that clips on, and then that's good to go. So now we're going to take our back section with our pluggers on it, and we're going to kind of fish the wires downwards. Let's see, which way are we going? We're going to go down. You do kind of got to think about the path that we're going to go with some of these wires, because they kind of need to go around stuff. And then eventually plug in. So the majority of, well, actually all four of them are right here. So we'd probably be best to kind of head that way with the cables. And we'll probably shoot around kind of the reset button power area kind of thing. Know what I mean? Ain't no thing like a chicken wing. Okay. So that is not it. So to put it back in, same kind of thing, you have to, okay, so you got to kind of put the top in first, and then we slide the back in. And then these antenna plugs are going to fight going through these holes because you didn't bother to take the sticker off. Neither did I, but I guess if you want to make your life a little easier, you could take that sticker entirely off. I don't really think it's completely necessary because we're just going to fish it through. Fish it through. Okay. Cool. Okay, so now we are all hooked up. I don't know if there's really any logic to hooking up some of these. I guess maybe it's a good idea if maybe. So these two were the panels on the back, and then these two are the extras. So I'm going to kind of call these primary and secondary. I'm sorry. We'll call these primary. I don't know if they truly are, but for the sake of my own sanity, primary and then secondary are the ones that came out the back. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that I keep track of, say, primary on one side and secondary on the other. So you probably don't need to do this. Again, my OCD is strong. So where is my painter's tape? These are going to be my primary, and they're on this side. And then the other two are going to be my secondaries. And again, I don't know if that's necessary, but it is in my head. Cool. Okay, so we're back together, and I'm going to write, okay, just so I know. And then we'll go through and we will disconnect this one. And we'll disconnect this one. And probably what I will end up doing is I will go ahead and disconnect this one also. And essentially taking the whole cable out. I really feel it's necessary, but also we're not going to use them. Why put them in there? Cool. Okay, so primary. Wait. Oh, okay. So that one on there. Okay. So installing U.F.L. plugs. Go Google it. There's some tips and tricks and whatnot to do it. The best thing that I can tell you, because these things are so tiny, like I don't even know if my little camera will really pick up how microscopic it is. Boy, my hands look like crap. And then they've got to fit, on these things. So my best advice, without really even being able to see it, is to kind of just get it flat on there. And then once it's flat, that's when you can start pushing down, because there is a tiny little pin in the center. And if we start bending those, that is when bad things happen. So I've got it on the pin. Whoops. And then it clicks in. And realistically, once you do a couple of these, you're going to be like a pro. Yeah. All right. So we're calling this one my secondary. And you guys can still see it, but you can't. Okay, so I've got it over top. I've got it flat, and then it clips on. Right? Look at that. Okay. And then we're going to grab this one here. And these cables just want to go in one direction. Oop. Sometimes my giant fat fingers get in the way and I can't see what the hell I'm actually doing. So maybe get a tool to help you. Oh my God. Okay, get on there. Fiddly connectors. There we go. All right, and then the last one. And there we go. Okay, cool. Let's see, for the sake of just kind of protecting some stuff, I'm going to take a piece of electrical tape. And I am going to actually put it underneath of this. Not that any of these are probably going to rub or move around or whatever, but The last thing I would like it to do is possibly rub onto the circuit board and short something out. That would probably not end well. I mean, probably nothing majorly bad would happen, but it may fry your device, and that wouldn't be good. So, and then we'll put a little piece of tape over there. Yeah, sure. Oop, I missed one. That's all right. Whatever. Okay, so that's it. So realistically, that is our antenna mod internally. Now we kind of got to go put it back together, and I will walk you through putting it all back together. But we're basically right to the point where we started, where this thingy will kind of slide on and just clips into place. Oh, hey, you know what? I should probably go ahead and put the screws back in. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like. Hey, whoever's watching this, by the way, I really actually appreciate you watching this. I don't know. We'll just say life has been interesting the last year or so. I've always made an effort to make sure that I thank people for the things that they do. So if you watch the video and hell, what are we at? 30 minutes in. If you're still watching it and you're not incredibly bored of some old fart whining and complaining, go back together, come on. I want to go back together. You don't even have any clips. Like, literally, there's nothing to stop you from doing the things. Okay. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Cool. But no, I've always enjoyed making YouTube videos, even though I kind of suck at them. I always try to put effort into them, and then they just kind of stink. Like, they are not good. Well, they're not bad. They're me thinking I'm way more entertaining than I really am. Go in the hole. You bugger. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Okay, well, see now, these are great examples of troubleshooting. All right. Also, that's just driving me nuts a little bit. So I'm going to put a little extra piece of tape. Just kind of keep these things down. That's probably way too much tape. Okay. Oop, 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 oop. Moving off screen. Moving off screen. Moving off screen, Dingleberry. Okay. So, that. Why is this side so weird? What did I do on this side? What didn't I do on this side? This side, yeah, this side's all back down together. Okay. Basically looks the same. Just go back together. You know you want to. Hmm? Why is that not going in? What did I do wrong? All right, we're gonna pause while I figure out what the hell. Okay, I figured it out, and I'm the idiot here. Hopefully I didn't break one. Fortunately, I do have a spare if need be. Okay, so what I did was, if you'll notice, this hole here, guess what's in the way? And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and replace that because I screwed it up. So I'll be back with a fixed one here in a sec. Okay, disaster averted. Okay, yes, I guess rule number one, make sure your screw holes are clear. So let's see if we can focus. So when I was trying to shove the screw through, I was hitting the cable. And well, it probably was just hitting the ground outside. We had a spare. So we just put the spare in. So now we should be able to close it up. Oh, look at that. Will you look at that? Will you look at that? Okay. So now we can put it all together. All right, so clearly we will be editing this down because we're at 36 minutes. Me screwing up. Nobody wanting to see that. Okay, so we are basically back together. Only thing left to do is cool. So we're basic. Oh well. Wow. What the hell did I do? Okay, so don't be me. I just broke off one of those antennas. We're going to take it all back apart and make sure, I don't even know what. It's clearly an evening. So we're going to pause and then we're going to hook it up and then we're going to show that all of our antennas are working. Pause. Okay, long or short pause on your side, long pause on my side. So I've learned a couple things. One, modems are not cars. There is no reason to try to tighten them as much as we did. The other big thing that I think it was partially Orbi, so the solder broke, and it just literally the solder point on the SMA plug just broke straight out. So I it feels like it was more of a cold joint than anything, but it's okay. So okay, so it's all back together and it's all up and running. And so if you watched my video, we all remember this. SH yeet 192.168.1.1. And then we got our password, which we should all know by now. So I tried this just a second ago. So I've got this individual antenna information. If we put this in here, essentially what it gives us is the RSRP value for each one of the antennas. And I was a little perplexed because only two of them are showing signals. So if we ran if we looked at this with the Orbi in its stock configuration, two of these would say something, and the other two would say 140, essentially maxing out, right? So so we can check this a couple times. What I found was it wasn't until we did a speed test. So if we did speed test, that they started all coming into play. Future me will go ahead and cover the important parts here. So with the speed test running, and then we run this thing, now what we find is these values are different. And whatever this, I don't know which one that is. I'll have to look into that. But then they all become pretty okay. So what I'm envisioning is under normal operation or normal just sitting there at idle, only two of your antennas are talking. So now we ran that, and if we do that, man, I gotta figure out, see, and then it goes back to the 140. So I don't know what this 117, 18, whatever is, but I will, I'm imagining it may be the antenna that I might have boogered up. Okay, so you're up and running. You have 4 antennas. What this allows you to do is it allows you to do multiple antennas. And so you can do, there's a couple different companies out there that do like the 4 plug antennas and let you run that. Currently, I've already got like a 2 plug panel up on my roof. I might do that in conjunction with a couple of these little tiny ones just to see and play around, see what happens. That's it. So, all right, I'm going to call this before it gets too long because it's already too long and I'm going to have to edit this down. So, you know, all those YouTube things, like, subscribe, comment, thumbs up. I don't even know anymore. So thanks for hanging around, and I hope I helped you out. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm going to bore you by taking it all apart again. But at this point, we should all be really, really good. Okay, so what happened? So I took it all apart. I installed the 4 antennas. All went together really well. They were all registering just fine. And the problem that I ran into was raw download speeds. Were not all that impressive. And I will probably put some blame on my inexpensive Amazon antennas. 100%. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say these are worth a damn for anything more than real basic stuff. But what I'm saying is the factory ones that are inside are better. And that was what I ended up finding was the original speeds that I got inside or using the inside ones were better than using these external ones. And so that's where I decided to go back. So in doing so, you know, where I made my comment about these are not cars, you should not tighten them down as such, that is very true. So what you can see here is this is where I attempted to reflow the solder into this plug from, you know, comes up from the other side. These were essentially cold joints, and both of them were. And so as soon as I put any real force, you know, the nut here, it essentially just pulled it straight out of the board. So you need to be careful when doing that, or you are going to do the same thing that I did. I did try to fix it. What I ended up finding was when it came apart, I lost some very, very tiny springs and some other little parts that I didn't know until the second one broke, and it broke in my hand, and I was able to see what I was missing. So that being said, I have now bypassed the 2 antennas here. I have left the 2 factory antennas that are still in here, and now what I have are these 2 antennas hooked up to my little cheapo Amazon antennas. and I'm getting as good or better than just using the factory ones in here. So what I was trying to say essentially is think about what you're going to do with this. Are you going to go out and buy 4 of these and hook it up? Then don't do it. Don't waste your time and don't waste your money, because these, quite frankly, are not going to give you any great additional speeds. They are mediocre. Now, if you are planning on running cables up to your top of your roof and you're using those big waveform panels and stuff, sure, go for it. I think that's about the correct time to do it. But if your end goal is to just put these little cheapo, oh, what were they? Like $10 for a pair or $15 for a pair. Yeah, save your money and save your time and literally just run the factory ones in here. They're way better than probably most people give them credit for. So I guess with that, so that's what I'm going to end up keep doing, because I don't really have a choice anymore, because I have completely destroyed this. I don't feel they're probably going to cover me under warranty for that, so I'm not going to bother. But yeah, so that's where I'm at, and we're going to go from there. So I guess with all the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, all my other videos seem to do really well, which was kind of cool. I'm glad that I was able to help a bunch of people out. So yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful evening, and maybe I'll make another video all about the Orbi, because people seem to enjoy the Orbi videos. All right, have a great evening.